welcome to Legal Bands. We are new on YouTube and I want you to embrace us with all the warmness that you have. On Legal Bands, we are going to be discussing insightful legal topics where you can gain one or two knowledge in the most simplest way ever. On today's show, I have lawyers with me. They are experienced in this particular topic that we want to talk about and all round. On today's show, we're going to be talking about marriage and divorce. But before we get into the show, I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, be a part of our family so that you can encourage us to keep posting more insightful videos on this platform. We're going to be introducing our guest to you right now. Sitting beside me is Eniola. Eniola, introduce yourself.
Good afternoon.
Next to her is Oluyemi.
Hi everyone, you're welcome to the show.
And next to her is Itunu.
Hello.
As I've mentioned earlier, we're going to be discussing marriage. And we all know marriage is a yummy topic. I mean, if you go to the internet, every day is always relationship, right? So we are going to be talking about marriage. Now, we want to ask our brilliant lawyers, is it possible for someone to just wake up one morning and pack their bags and say, I am no longer interested in this marriage. I am fed up, I'm tired? Because I personally, I have read stories of men who said they went to work because home was frustrating, and from work they never went back home. I've read stories of women who left kids and husbands, and they're nowhere to be found. Like, they just went and they started afresh all over again. So we'll be asking our lawyers, is it actually possible under the law? How possible is this? How legal is this? Can you throw light on this? How possible is this under the law?
Is it possible? In my opinion, of course, and according to the law, I don't think it's possible for you to just say, I'm divorced. But of course, it's possible for you to just leave your house, right? And say, I'm tired of this marriage, I want to go and relax somewhere, or I'm relocating, whatever it is that you've chosen to do. But what we are here to talk about is the fact that, is it really legal? Is it really the ideal thing to do if you want to leave your marriage? So I will first establish that it's not possible for you to leave your marriage and just say, I'm no longer doing. Then in your head, that is divorce. No, that's not. So for you to successfully say, this marriage has been dissolved, there's a way that you people came together in the first place. Mm-hmm. And most of the time is whether you go to your church or you go to in the registry, and customarily the one we say traditional wedding. So if you've done it either of those ways, for you to now say, I'm no longer doing, you have to do it appropriately. So if you have done your marriage under the act, which is the one that you have gone to registry, Ikoyi registry is everybody's bus stop. Everybody wants to go to Ikoyi registry. So if you've gone to Ikoyi registry, or you've gone to a church that is well licensed, for you to say, I'm no longer doing, and you want to dissolve the marriage legally, you must go to the court. And the court is a high court. So you will have a lawyer who will file your petition in a high court. But again, if that marriage is not up to 2 years, no court will divorce you. Because the essence of marriage is for you to also endure some things. It's not going to be easy, right? Yeah. You're marrying somebody who is not, even in fact, siblings are fighting. Siblings have issues. Yeah. So law expects you to at least be in that marriage for at least 2 years. If in that 2 years, all that you have experienced is now suffer ahead, and you now say, I'm no longer doing, the law can say, okay, based on grounds that has been set down by the law, you can choose either of those that is relatable to your own situation and say, because of this particular thing, I'm no longer doing, and my lawyer will help me and file a petition in court. But again, even though the general rule is saying until the marriage is 2 years, there are some times that the law look at the situation at hand and says, we cannot allow this person to continue to suffer, even though the marriage is not up to 2 years. Say, for instance, your husband is dating or is having sexual relationship with your family member. I mean, that's an exceptional hardship. So the law, recognizes exceptional hardship. Or your husband is somebody who who is into incest, or what do they call it? That's people that have sex with animals, right? Bestiality. Yeah, incest is your family. You know, those kind of things. So the law recognizes that no woman or no man wants to live with that kind of person. And in a situation like that, if you bring it's not just by word of mouth. The law has to do with evidence, right? So you have to come with evidence to establish that, okay, this man is into something like this, or is a rapist, or is, you know, those are exceptional hardship that the law does not expect you to endure. So in situations like that, the court can still dissolve that marriage, even if it is not up to 2 years. But of course, there are grounds, right? And you know, some people, one thing that baffles me as a lawyer, which I've quite experienced, is also the fact that clients come, and when you ask them what really happened, they'll just tell you, we fell out of love.
We have cultural differences.
Do you understand?
And you're like, did you see each other? There is no such thing as you just fell out of love. You just fall out of love, and you know.
How can you say I just fell out of love? I mean, we are not in Yankee now. If you say you fell out of love, something led to you falling out of love. So you must establish those things. And you know, one of the grounds of divorce is that you can say is intolerable differences. So intolerable differences, you have to pinpoint what is that thing that you cannot tolerate. Do you get? So, but some clients don't want to open up because they understand that these are private issues. Some people will tell you part of the story and not tell you part of the story. It is when you get to court, you have a scene.
Surprises.
Or when they get the answer to the petition, right? So the other person has now brought his own answer and has now said a lot of things, even lies, right? So this person has lied that maybe you did abortion, you sleep around, and you don't want to say that he used to beat you. You don't want to say that he used to maltreat your children or he insult your in-law. When you now see that, then they'll start crying. Lawyer is lying. He's a devilish person. He's a wicked person. If you knew he was a wicked, why didn't you say it from the beginning? Because once they answer, it is difficult for you to now remedy all of that, right? And the court will have to proceed with the evidence before them. And lawyers are not magicians, right? If you don't tell your lawyer will not know. You are doing yourself at the end of the day. And I think personally, I have this. You know, there's this thing with women that they are so compassionate that they like to protect the men even after they are even when they are going through terrible situation, or when the man is not even worth it, they still try to protect the man, or maybe some of them still look forward to like a way to mend the relationship, keeping the home, you know, mend the relationship. They will say, I'm doing it for my child, I want my child to have a father. But if you see that this man has gone and he has done very terrible things, that's naturally, when you are thinking about that child, you should be thinking about the things that can protect that child. Is this person a father figure that you want your child to look up to?
And I'll say some women just still want to keep that title of Mrs.
Bam bam.
MRS. They just want to keep it. They don't want, because the society, you know, they shame people for living their homes.
About what will people say.
Yeah.
You'll not start counting men on me. But most important thing is, I ask myself is, what's your self-value? First of all, you have to evaluate yourself to be able to place your value on maybe one man or one kid. If you don't value yourself, the way the man is treating you, you feel that's the right way. Now, I listened to Judge Judy, this program on TV, and I saw the woman saying the man wakes up every morning, cook, clean the house before she wakes up, and he does not beat her, he does not yell at her, and because of that she wants a divorce.
I think I saw that episode.
I saw that episode. Another banger.
But the thing is this, for such a woman, in my opinion, is that some women are so used to violence that they now think is the normal thing.
Ways to be peaceful.
So if they are not in a situation where violence is a thing, they are wondering, when is he going to do it? It's not when is he going to? Will he beat me? When is he going to slap me? Do you understand? So, but again, going back to the law, just recently somebody called me and said, I want to leave my marriage, and I said, why? Then this woman said they've been married for 15 years. Their first child is 14. And they have 3 children together. And she said, he's been beating me even while I was pregnant of our first child. And I'm like, okay, so you waited for 15 years. And I mean, as a lawyer, you hold it.
Yeah.
You don't express your shock sometimes. You don't judge, right?
Yeah.
So you listen. You listen, even though deep down in your mind, you're like, I need to get the case and take this woman. But again, you chest it, you hold it. Okay, madam, so now are you really ready? I always like to ask that question. Are you really ready? Because I've found petition before that the woman say, but the lawyer, our family it does. You know?
Or like those that we saw. The one is
very close.
Yes.
Right?
They are not even ready.
You
Like
know?
it was even the lawyer that wants to actually
Divorce.
dissolve.
So you're not like the bad guy. So when I've learned from that because I had filed. We were already waiting for a date to start to fight the first hearing, and the lady said, "Hey, our family did that. See, I don't want to go further again." So we had to withdraw. Although of course he had to pay my legal fees, but again, that taught me that anytime I'm being briefed on a divorce case like that, my first question is, "Madam or Mr. Man, are you really ready?" So this woman that said she has been beaten for 15 years, she's been enduring it because of her child. So I asked the question, why now? She said, the one he did last week is the height of it.
It's usually the height of it, but they will still go back.
So she said, it's the height of it. I said, okay. But now, are you really ready to file for divorce? Because that's why you're calling me.
Yes.
She said, the family, when we did the last meeting, he walked out on me. He said he does not want me again. Even me, I don't want him again. But tomorrow we are still going for a family meeting. I said, since you are still going for a family meeting, it then means you're not ready.
Yeah.
When you are done with your family meeting, and you conclude in your heart that there is no resolution, there is no way you can still live with this man, then you can come back to a lawyer. But do you know what? I've not seen her since that time.
They're leaving her.
But you know, when you said that you have gotten to a resolution, it took me back to the law, right? That even in the definition of divorce, you see that the law says that the marriage has broken down
Irretrievably.
So you have gotten to the point where you have said, I've packed my bags, I'm not going back again.
Yes.
No financial, no school fees will make you go back. No, you want to buy children food will make you go back.
No,
you want to go for
Not
PTA
that I went
meeting.
to visit the kids and you just touched me and you
I mean your 2-year-old say, where is daddy? And then you say, okay, let's go back to daddy. No, you have to be really, you have to make up your mind. You have to weigh your options. You have to look at it that do you want to continue like this?
So I had a client too. I had, sometimes you go and we had filed. The husband had responded. It was now time for trial. But time for trial, we were supposed to open the case first. So my client, you call and she no show up. What is going on, madam? Next tomorrow is court, she will not show up. Next tomorrow is court. So one day after I had pressed, the court was at the verge of throwing out her petition, and she had to call me and said, "Hey, lawyer, I want to tell you the truth." I said, what happened? She said she's pregnant for somebody else.
Wow. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that.
She said she was already pregnant for someone else, and that's because, of course, if you show up in court when your husband is alleging adultery,
and then
do you understand?
With pregnancy.
That's evidence on its own.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we had to withdraw that petition and wait till she delivers. Now, of course, we are still going to file. We are still going, even if it is adultery. I mean, what she wants is she wants to dissolve the marriage, regardless of whatever grounds. But for some people, they are conscious of the grounds because they are aware that court processes are public documents. Your children later in life can access it.
Yes.
They can hear what happened, why my father and my mother splitted. They want to know. Some children are so inquisitive, and the kind of children we are having these days, I mean, they are very smart children that you cannot now go and talk to their head and sway them away from the truth. They want to find out the truth by themselves. Thank God for internet. Thank God for a lot of things that they can use to also access information. But importantly, I think I want to chip out the fact that if you know you want to go for divorce, if you know that's the last resort, which is always the last resort anyways, if you know that's the last resort, I would advise that do not get married before to someone else.
Yeah.
Because if you do, that marriage is illegal and is unknown to law. So until you have finalized the divorce with the first marriage or the previous marriage, you cannot go into another. If you do go into another, another marriage, quote and unquote, now is no marriage. So that's why you see, there's a recent situation where a lady also said she's abroad, and they couldn't, I don't know the law in the country, they couldn't give her child, she had a child for another man, they couldn't give her child birth certificate, because she's not divorced the previous marriage. So doing things and doing it right is very, very important. You don't want to do something and then you regret it later in life. And when you have an invalid marriage, there are a lot of consequences to it. We cannot go into that one today because there's a whole lot of topic on it. But it is important for us to do things right. And I would also say that for marriages that has led into divorce, the grounds are there. I think there are about 7 grounds. But there's one that if you are not having sex with your partner,
consummation.
So some women are in marriages and 3 years, 4 years, they've not had any intercourse with their partner. And and in your mind, you still didn't marry. My brother,
This is a life experience. I actually went for the wedding in 2020, and by 2022 I heard they are filing for divorce, and I was asking what happened, and she was like, why they were cutting, this brother was like, no, let's wait to marry, and obviously the lady is this type that wants to go out, wants to mingle. When I like, what was the cause of, like, the brother no fit to do? Mama was like, which one be no fit to do? I'm like,
let's not say it here. Please cut.
I'm like, which one no fit to do? I was like, you couldn't consummate the marriage. When I don't see that person, like, come and see WhatsApp chats of the lady, even having sexual relations with other men, showing it to him that you're not a man, this one, that. I'm like, it got to this stage. Where was I?
That's deep.
But now I heard he's married to someone else.
The man is married to someone else. So if there's no I don't know the kind of problem he had, but if there's no solution, it means another woman inherits the problem. So what we are saying now in law is that when you are in a partner, in a relationship or marriage, let's restrict it to marriage. If you are in a marriage that is not consummated, it is a ground for divorce. So if you are no longer, don't choke yourself, don't die in silence, speak up. this is the era of Sorosoke, right? Please save your life. So because you know what, if you then go out to have sex and you now see children giving, you see mothers giving somebody else's children to their husbands. So that's why they're not talking about DNA these days. So if you are not having it where you're supposed to have it, it is illegal for you to have it somewhere else. So instead of you doing the illegal, why not do it right? File for divorce and get out or get married to somebody else that would consummate marriage with you. Again, as we're asking, and we're talking about lack of consummation, over consummation today. So if your partner is also asking, for too much sex, it is what the law regards as an exceptional hardship. Exceptional hardship. So if you have a man who is like money has to be like his food,
lunch, dinner, supper, brunch,
and you are tired already, guy, madam, pack your nose.
I also want to ask that these days we don't really talk about emotional violence. Most times it's physical, beating you, leave. Most people will endure any shit in their marriage except that physical abuse.
Also include verbal.
It's also the emotional part.
True, yeah.
Now that verbal and emotional abuse, does it fall under the hardship or the intolerable behavior? Like how can
I think that
under the law?
I think that it falls under intolerable behavior, but not exceptional hardship. Because one thing with exceptional hardship is it deals with evidence.
Yes.
You must be able to present the evidence.
Evidence.
What has that emotional trauma led you to do?
Yeah.
If you have now gotten to a stage where you are now becoming suicidal,
Violent.
that's a very deep one,
Yeah.
right? So if you have evidence, see, evidence na law. If you have evidence, you will get whatever it is you want.
True.
But intolerable differences is any act that you just feel, I can no longer take this anymore.
Yeah.
And when any reasonable person hear the situation too, they go reason and say, "Madam, you don't try,"
Yes.
right? So if going back to consummation and excessive request for consummation, that's again it could be depending on the person, it could be an emotional trauma for someone, right? I know when I was in school, right, then we've not even known so much about law and all of that. There's a woman that was always complaining that she was going to leave her marriage. She hadn't left, but she was always saying she was going to leave because the husband's penis is too big. And that every time they have sexual intercourse, she's always having one form of injury. Right? Now, how do you prove that?
How do you even come out to talk about that? What do you tell? That this is my challenge. It's not easy.
So issues there, right?
Yeah.
But importantly, whatever issues you have, talk to your lawyers. One thing we lawyers know how to do is we know how to present your case in a very beautiful way that even the judge will grant you whatever it is that you want. But in all of it, there's nothing that you shouldn't be able to speak up about. Yes. My colleague said, who do you talk to? I mean, you talk to your lawyer. Talk to your lawyer.
Yes.
Talk to that woman.
And
I
there's
believe
confidentiality between
a lawyer and your lawyer cannot come out and start saying, Mr. Titi said this to me, and come out as we are discussing now. We can't pinpoint any names. It is just our experiences and the things we believe that people can learn from. So that woman will probably not, even if she wants to leave her marriage, she probably not going to go to the main gist of my husband's penis is too big, but she's probably going to say excessive request for consummation. I mean, when you hear that one, if you know below, I know a reason I'll say. That's what the guy is saying, right? So marriage is diverse and people have different experiences. People need to complain, people need to leave, people need to endure some more. The law expects you to at least endure for 2 years. Right? So you cannot just wake up
one morning
and decide and carry bag. Then in your mind you are married. If you leave and you start a new life, the law recognizes, okay, let me paint a scenario. You leave your marriage, go to probably another town or another place, get married to someone else and start a new life. God forbid if you die and all your belongings, whatever it is that you have, the new wife had no access to it. In law, she's not entitled to it. The old person is the only person that the law regards as your wife, especially if it is a wife under statute. So that's the only person the law regards as your wife. However, whatever children that the new person has for you might benefit from whatever it is that you own. But importantly, the old wife is the only recognized legal wife under the law. So don't do mistake of I don't care, I'm woke, I'm Gen Z, I'm a new generation. No, you can't work. You have to do things right. We have laws.
Hollywood and novels
deceive you. The one they will just bring paper, sign divorce. It does not work.
Yes, that's actually another topic on its own, and we are going to delve into that. Time is up and we have to round up the show now, but don't worry, we're still coming with more juicy episodes on this show, still on marriage. There are 7 grounds, right, as we mentioned earlier, and we've barely even, spoke about everything. We've just scratched the surface. So make sure you subscribe once again and expect our show, expect the next episode. We hope you've been able to learn 1 or 2 things from this channel. We hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. And don't forget to tell your friends. Have a nice day.
Think about it. Do you want to leave? You stay.